evacuating diplomats and civilians from the country. Even so, former Royal Marine Pen Farthing is in Kabul and says the chaos has not been brought under control.
My wife and my country manager, who is 34 weeks pregnant, they were told that they need to get to Kabul airport to get their evacuation flights out. There is no security on the outside of Kabul airport. They got caught in crush in a stampede.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson says any recognition of a new government in Kabul must happen on an international basis. The latest daily figures show another 170 deaths of people who've recently tested positive for coronavirus. Almost 27,000 cases have been recorded in the past 24 hours. A man from Cheshire's been charged in connection with a racist social media post following the Euro 2020 final. Police have been investigating online abuse after England's footballers lost their match against Italy on penalties. UK regulators say the Moderna jabs have been shown to be safe for use in 12 to 17-year-olds. A separate committee is deciding whether to expand the vaccination programme to children in that age group. And Lily Coles apologised after sharing pictures of herself wearing a burqa to promote her new book as Afghanistan was falling to the Taliban. The model's since removed the pictures and said sorry for any offence caused. That's the latest. I'm Kat Suave.
This is Revive FM 94.0.
Reviving communities.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
On FM,
On YouTube,
Facebook,
under your bed,
in your closet.
and we're hiding in your fridge.
Henry Scott and Tom Hutchinson bring you the news.
On Revive FM.
Hello there, everybody. Oh, that's loud. Hello there. I keep forgetting how loud these things can get. Welcome to Revive FM. It is Tuesday. Yes, so you know what that means. It means it's time for your weekly dose of Scott and Hutch. My name is Tom Hutchinson. Joining me in the studio, just about, is my amazing co-host,
Henry Scott.
Oh, it was touch and go. I tell you now, it would touch and go. It were very touch and go.
Anyway,
yes.
My goodness, we have a lot to talk about today.
We do. Yes,
We've got COVID to talk about, obviously.
Of course, because we haven't spoken about that enough for the last 18 months.
Exactly, of course. We've got COVID to talk about. We've also got
Afghanistan. We've got random acts of kindness as well.
Exactly. We've got. To be honest, I had a random act of kindness as I was coming into the studio.
Oh,
which
really?
actually helps me get here on time.
Oh,
but
lovely.
I had plenty of acts of rudeness as well.
Oh, of course, just to balance it out.
Yeah, just to balance it out.
Brilliant.
There's also lots of other stuff going on in the news as well, which we can really get our teeth into. We encourage all of our callers to call in.
Yes.
Tom, what's that number?
The number is 0333
444
09
40.
That's 0333
444
09
40.
See, we're on this. We're slick.
Call
right.
in. We would like to hear from
Yes,
you.
you can also WhatsApp us as well, and you can also go and leave a comment on our streams on Facebook and YouTube, because that's it. We are across all platforms except for Twitch. Maybe that's another one we need to look at.
Nah.
I don't know. Maybe it could be
Reddit live.
I don't know. I mean, there's people do. Maybe we could do like Scott and Hutch in a hot tub. That's what they're doing on Twitch now, isn't it?
Okay.
Could do.
Right.
Anyway, but
I had an idea for a podcast recently.
Oh, there you go. See,
what? Basically, you go to a pub and bring some microphones with you, and just get random geezers to sit down with you and have a chat.
I'll be honest with you.
Doesn't that sound quite fun?
It does sound good. I hasten to say it's actually been done.
What?
It's called the Pubcast.
Oh,
yeah. But you could make it your own. I mean, because I know Chris Moores does one for charity, and Blossoms the band, they do one called the Pubcast.
It's ruined. It's like the Simpsons did it. It's ruined.
Simpsons predicted it years ago.
Yeah.
We shall do podcasts in a pub and call them we should call them the Pubcasts.
Yeah.
Woo! Right. I tell you what. Should we crack on with some news because we've got a lot to talk about? Yeah. Let's play the jingle.
On FM,
On YouTube,
Facebook,
every Tuesday from 5 to 7.
Henry Scott and Tom Hutchinson,
Keeping you in the loop.
on Revive FM.
Yeah, we'll just start that out there.
Yeah,
Just start it out. Exactly. Yes.
Regardless of the fact, over the last since early August, the Taliban have taken control of Afghanistan.
Yes.
As many of you will already know, and there were horrific scenes at Kabul airport the other day.
Yeah,
where people were trying to
clamber onto the C-17, and
there was one person who actually fell off from a few hundred feet in the air.
More than one,
which were tragic scenes to say the least. But I think, sadly, this has got to be a show and an example of the worst foreign policy failure in the West history.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that
this is worse than Vietnam. This is worse than Tibet.
Well, this could be that people are already starting to say this could be the new Vietnam almost, isn't it? Like the way that the US is just pulling out. It's almost like they've just yanked the handbrake and said, right, that's it. We're out of it. We're done.
Yeah, they've given up.
Yeah. They can't. The thing is, they can't. But this is what I don't get. So, I mean, we're having flashbacks almost of 20 years ago when this whole thing started. I mean, next month is the 20th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks. And I know that obviously we were supposed to be going out there, we're training the Afghan army and things like that, and I get that. But why pull out now? What is the point of pulling out now at such a pivotal moment when the Taliban is starting to
go into fighting season?
Yeah, and actually start getting a foothold.
Did you listen to LBC yesterday?
I didn't. No,
no.
No.
I was listening into LBC, and they had a British soldier on, and he was talking about how during one part of the year, for 6 to 8 weeks, the Taliban are non-active, because they're farming heroin and poppy seeds, and that is usually the quiet period, and it goes like that. There's been numerous studies done on the period of fighting, the period of peace. They chose to pull out at a time of fighting instead of a time of peace, so that's why Afghanistan has fallen to the Taliban so rapidly,
quickly,
because they were already kicking off, and. You know what makes me more worried, Tom, is that the United States, Britain, and all the allies involved in the military operation in Afghanistan over the last 20 years have trained, paid for, and given military wages, equipment, and aid to the Afghan army and trained them up over the last 20 years. Now, it is supposed that there's plenty of corruption in Afghanistan within the government, which is what left a disenchanted and low morale army. So hence why they just sort of let them walk in. A lot of the military equipment was actually just sort of handed over.
It's been there's big sort of supply crates left at Kabul airport as well. There's seen that. There's like AK-47s there, PPE, helmets.
There's so much equipment left by the Americans, and I've verified this with various sources as well.
So they've technically, in a roundabout way,
they've armed terrorists.
They've armed the Taliban.
I mean, supposedly, one of the interesting developments in the last couple of hours is that the Taliban has given its first news conference, and female anchors have been seen back on screen at Afghan TV
they were all
stations,
removed, weren't they?
And they've given amnesty to anyone who worked for the government. He says there's an amnesty. The new leader of Afghanistan says that there's an amnesty on all who have worked for foreign powers. No harm will be done. The Taliban's top political leaders have landed in Afghanistan from Qatar, where they were headquartered in Doha. And there's still military flights evacuating diplomats and civilians have restarted at Kabul's airport. But supposedly at least 7 people were reportedly killed at the airport on Monday.
Well,
as many of you have probably seen that video of the jet.
The people running alongside. I mean, I don't mean this in a horrible way. And I know that they took, I think, was it about 650 people on board the plane? So they're all like in Kabul.
Insane amount of people to fit on a C-17.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, they're all stuffed in the cargo hold. It looks
way beyond
operating limits. Yeah. I mean, all right, fair play to them. They could have left them all there. I mean, so I suppose give them kudos that they've taken some people. And obviously, Boris Johnson has said now that he's going to be starting a settlement scheme for, I believe, is it for Afghan citizens to come into the UK? So, you know, I suppose this is almost going to be like another sort of Windrush thing, isn't it? Almost like in a way of having a settlement scheme and making sure that they get, you know, that they are safe. They're not going to be reprisals. But it's quite interesting because and again, I suppose it depends on whichever media outlet you look at. So I think I might have the same quote here from you. So I've got, this was from, and I hope I say this name right, Inamullah Samangani, who's a member of the Taliban's Cultural Commission. He said that the Islamic Emirati doesn't want women to be the victims. They should be in They should be in government structure according to Sharia law. He added. The structure of the government is not fully clear, but based on experience, there should be a fully Islamic leadership, and all sides should join. So, as you said, they took all female anchors off of news outlets in Afghanistan. One was allowed to come back on, I believe it was from a private non-state broadcaster. But what they've been doing is that they've been told not to go after any or start any trouble with
they've said
any government
don't work
buildings or
against
vehicles.
us. The Taliban have told the media, and
but they've also been with the government buildings and vehicles. They've been told don't start any trouble. Make it nice and simple. Don't go storming buildings. But then the other thing they've been doing is they've also been, and again, I saw this on the Sun, so you take this with a pinch of salt. That they are painting the doors of leading female figures in Afghanistan. Now, we probably know what that's going to be for.
I mean, the thing is, Tom,
Hopefully
here's the thing with this is that the government, which have been working in Qatar, obviously have connections with the wider world. I mean, a lot of these allegations are denied by the countries that are accused of being allies of them, but that's Pakistan, that's China, that's Russia,
Iran,
Iraq as well. They are all supposedly allies of the Taliban. Although many of those organizations have denied their involvement, but it is suspected and accused by various Western powers. But I mean, the thing is, what I watched was, because I've been trying to familiarize myself with the situation as best I can through our own media, is that the government of Afghanistan, before it fell, stated that the Taliban have become much sneakier with their word. This was a government official talking.
It's almost like they're trying to win hearts and minds.
Yes, exactly. They're saying, because what they're trying to do is appease the Western world. Because obviously, if we as the public feel that the Taliban are not a threat to democratic values that we uphold in this country, then we will not implore our governments to take any more interventive action in those countries. So, from that point, is that they.
Because basically, they're trying to say that they are not the same organization they were 20 years ago. That's what they're trying to say now. And they want to work with the current Afghanistani government. So to make it almost like a peaceful changeover. I personally, I don't see that happening. I've also got the horrible realization that we might be going back into war 20 years on, which I really hope is not the case.
Well, if it does happen, I think it should be left to their own devices at that point. But what has left me more concerned is that upon hearing this from the government spokesperson and the Taliban spokesperson in Qatar, it was sort of like, well, what's the truth here? What is the truth? And the BBC also interviewed two commanders on the ground of the Taliban soldiers, and they said, well, we will go by we will go by Sharia law. We will go by the system of Sharia. And that means no, women cannot be educated. And if somebody is a thief, you cut off their hand. That is the reality on the ground, as opposed to what the politicians are saying. And it's all well and good for a spokesperson to come out and say all these things, but in terms of what is actually true, I have high doubts about what the Taliban government are actually saying will happen. Because one thing that is doesn't quite translate to me is that the spokesperson for the Taliban has said, "I would like to assure the international community that nobody in Afghanistan will be harmed. We do not want to have any problems with the international community. We have the right to act according to our religious principles. Other countries have different approaches, rules, and regulations. The Afghans have the right to have their own rules and regulations in accordance with our values." He says, "We are committed to the rights of women under the system of Sharia, Islamic law, and they're going to be working shoulder to shoulder with us, and we'd like to assure the international community that there will be no discrimination." Now, often in Sharia law, this is just not the case. In terms of, perhaps yes, it may... Perhaps, yes, it may be in accordance with what they consider to be non-discriminatory under the guidance of Sharia law. Over here, that is not the case.
So almost using it not as, like...
They're saying they will have rights, but within the scope of what is written, which to us, on that value, is discriminatory. And it will be interesting to see if they are actually talking about not doing discrimination in a more democratic, liberal sense, as opposed to just...
I just feel like sort of seeing those images, like of people clambering up
you've
the
got
airport.
to think,
and think they know how bad this is going to be. I mean, it happened. It was last time the Taliban actually took over
in Afghanistan
in 1996 to 2001.
There were stonings, hangings, executions.
Like
it was a brutalist regime.
There is no way that you can justify anything that they've done, whether it's laws, cultures, whatever. Let's be honest, it's barbaric and it's it's disgusting. There is no justification for it. So I think it's quite telling the fact that the images that are coming out on the ground, people know how bad this is going to get, to the point that they're actually hanging on to aircraft fuselages,
which is
to try and
yeah,
get to a better
that's what
life.
shocked me is I thought, well, this is terrible. I
Yeah.
just at first I thought of it in a foreign policy sense. I thought, well, this is, I thought we were global Britain.
Yeah.
Where on earth is us taking unilateral action to reinstall an Afghanistan government?
Yeah.
And doing it on our own. We don't need the US theoretically.
Yeah.
We've got a military defense budget. Let's use it.
Yeah. Let's try and
deploy the troops.
Yeah, and try and assist where we can, whether that's regards to sort of getting people out, whether that's regards to actually trying to get a stable government.
Especially giving all of those Afghanis who worked with us, or even just worked with us for even a week under a contract, or they help British troops, they should be brought back to Britain or be offered asylum.
Yeah,
because it is, frankly, unethical of us as a country to encourage everyone to what can we say as a country if we don't act ethically in any sense?
Yeah,
and if we do, I don't see how we can ever be seen as a country with any global standing in the world if we turn our backs on the very people that protected our people.
Exactly. Yeah,
they put their lives at risk.
It's true, and that's the worrying thing. If it's, I think if we were to turn our back now, I dare say, I know that, as I said, Boris is organising the
evacuation
at the moment. So I think we're sending it's either 200 troops or 650 troops. We're sending out
600 troops.
Yeah, to bring people back in. There's also going to be a government settlement scheme, so a bit like after Brexit, if you were an EU national.
I know that, but here's my problem with it: the government always comes up with Boris's government. I will be honest, does come up with some very good ideas.
Putting them into practice, though,
yes, exactly. Like, for example, what is it? The Police Crime Courts and Sentencing Bill was in its infancy actually very good law. What did they do? They made protesting a nuisance and illegal, and now you can technically be sent to prison for protesting in this country because it's a nuisance.
Yeah.
Or what is it? The new farmers subsidy bill. Right, great in practice.
Oh, this is the one. This is the one that Clarkson had, where you're encouraged not to
farm, but to do wilding projects.
Yeah, wilding,
and that's part of the UK's shift in subsidising farmers, and to become stewards of the land, which all sounds great in theory. In practice, it's going to bankrupt farmers.
Yeah.
And the subsidies are too narrow, and they're not done correctly. And it's going to be the exact same with this resettlement scheme. Is that the scope of the resettlement scheme is so narrow that barely anyone is going to be eligible for it. And so therefore, great idea, mate. Nice of you to set up some sort of resettlement scheme, but is it going to help anyone who works for us and put their lives at risk?
Exactly, yeah.
And lots of these people have been threatened and had death threats. There's a couple of people in Afghanistan in hiding who were talking to LBC, telling them, listen, I've been given death threats.
Yeah.
The Home Office have offered me reconciliation, resettlement, but they're not in touch now. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Me and my family are paranoid.
Yeah, it's worrying. I'll tell you what else was worrying as well. Have you seen the clip on BBC News? There was a female journalist or reporter who's actually in the studio, and her phone goes off mid-link, and it was a member of the Taliban had phoned her on her personal mobile.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
And they contacted. So it kind of flustered. I believe she's from Afghanistan originally, and then obviously came out to the UK.
Yeah, I worry that the Taliban are taking note of China's examples of enforcing things, but doing it very under the radar.
Yeah, it's almost like pulling the strings from behind the scenes. Sort of thing. Yeah,
well, China does that a lot. They openly say, like, no, we don't have re-education camps. No, we don't sterilize Uyghur Muslims. No, we don't do this, that, and the other. And yet at the same time, they do all those things because there's evidence of it. And there's writings on the wall in a literal sense of these re-education camps.
Yeah.
And like, oh, my soul, my dying soul. And these horrible things going on in China. And I feel like the Taliban are employing a lot of the similar techniques of shadowing their actual unethical actions on a democratic value sense.
Yeah.
But
Well, we're gonna. I'll tell you what we'll do. I think we're gonna. Yeah, we're gonna go to a break. We're gonna carry this on afterwards because I think obviously this is gonna be one of the big talking points.
Please do call in. We'd love to hear your opinions on the unfolding situation in Afghanistan. If Tom, what's the number?
So the number is 0333
444
09
40.
That's 0333
444
09
40.
And you can also WhatsApp us on that number as well. We know we've got people watching today. You can also go onto Facebook and YouTube by searching Revive FM UK. Stay right there, and we'll be right back after this.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 07944 56 5616. That's 07944 56 5616.
Turkish Kitchen, the best Turkish food you'll ever taste. We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lahmacun, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, IG11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
Looking to get your finances in order? MR Accountants has you covered. We provide a full range of accountancy and taxation services, including annual and management accounts, self-assessment tax returns, VAT, bookkeeping, and payroll services. We ensure you're kept up to date with the latest legislation, and our client-focused approach helps us plan your business finances from savings to investments. We are MR Accountants. Visit our website at mraccountants.com or call us on 0203 432 9138.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ। दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन, बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी, मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद, यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी। इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए। अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam, including Tajweed, Fiqh, Seerah, and Aqidah, we endeavour to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals, and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrolment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_London@minhajuk.org.
Does your pizza excite you? The London Pizza Depot invites you on a journey with our worldwide inspired pizzas. To the smoke and jerk drums of Jamaica, to savor the Caribbean hot, to sunny California, to enjoy the greatest invention, the Cali cheeseburger. Transport yourself with every bite. Our authentically prepared hand-stretched dough, freshly diced veg, finest cuts of halal meat, and our 100% mozzarella cheese ensures the delivery of a masterpiece every time. Visit www.londonpizzadepot.co.uk or our branches in Ilford or Plaistow. Now you can enjoy buy one pizza, get one free every Tuesday. T's and C's apply.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jyoti Sood. Let's face it, lockdown has left many of us carrying some extra weight. But extra weight can put pressure on our bodies, making it harder to fight diseases like cancer, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. So now is a great time for us to get our weight on track. The Better Health website has lots of free tools and tips to get you started. So for help and support to lose weight, search Better Health. Let's do this.
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio,
on your mobile,
and online.
Hello there, you are back with Revive FM 94.0. It is Tuesday, so that means it's Scott and Hutch. My name is Tom Hutchinson, and joining me in the studio is my amazing co-host,
Henry Scott.
Yes, and we have been talking about all things Afghanistan in the last part of the show. So, I mean, I think we were just sort of going to, you were saying just before we went to break.
Should we do a little overview of the situation?
Yeah, let's go for it, yeah.
So, as many people know, that in the last 2 months, the Taliban have taken over. The American troops have withdrawn from Afghanistan, the last troops, and the Taliban has swiftly taken control of the country and also taken control of Kabul as well, the country's capital. Even Dominic Raab commented saying that he was surprised, and so was everyone else at Whitehall, around the rapid pace that the Taliban took control, and that we were caught off guard, and that is a direct quote. Since then, me and Tom have been discussing about how the Taliban have been left with a vast amount of US military equipment and plenty of aid, leaving them with quite a strongly trained army, as well as lots of protective equipment for soldiers. And so in terms of just them as a nation, they're now pretty well armed. What was it, 300,000 soldiers?
About that, I believe, yeah.
Which means equipment for 300,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
So,
and it's all just there in crates, ready to go, which is very worrying, to be honest. You know, we effectively, they have, as we said before, they have effectively armed the Taliban. You know,
in
a roundabout way.
Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, Biden did give, certain arguments. Was that we gave them the equipment, we paid their wages, we've resettled Afghans who worked with us, and yet we could not give them the will to fight.
Yeah.
And some see this in those who are interventionists in US government, those who like going into other countries to intervene in scenarios, in human rights issues and stuff like that. They are saying that this is disgusting. It's a complete failure of foreign policy. It shows that interventionism, this is why are we not staying there? We have to stay there and protect the Afghans from this tyrannical rule. And then there's others who are, Biden, I would say, is more of an isolationist, but as is Donald Trump. But Donald Trump...
Well, Trump's already calling for him to be sacked, isn't
yes,
he?
But Donald Trump, obviously, it was said that we never should have gone to Afghanistan in the first place. He was against the conflict in the first, which arguably wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Same with Iraq. He says we never should have been in Iraq either. So you've got your isolationists and your interventionists, and I think Biden has strangely kind of, they pulled out at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But if they were going to pull out, many people believe this would have been inevitable anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the thing is, and this is me sort of playing devil's advocate a little bit, and I really hope I don't offend anybody, but, we were there for, well, say what?
20 years.
20 years or so, okay? Or 2003 was like Iraq, wasn't it? But yeah, we've been in Afghanistan for 20 years. So we've been training them up for 2 decades. We've given them all the tools. We've given them all the training. We've given them everything like that. And then obviously, well, I say we, the Allied forces, US American forces. If after 20 years, they're still not in a position to, fend for themselves... Well, have we even not done a good enough job, or they just can't be asked?
No,
again, I don't mean this.
No. Tom, it's a very valid question, and many people have been making that argument. That is Biden's argument: is we could not equip them with the will to fight.
Yeah,
and if supposedly the Afghani government is corrupt, isn't paying the soldiers' wages properly, isn't creating a strong sense of morale as to look after Afghanistan from the Taliban, isn't creating the right rhetoric, then perhaps.
Like there's no,
what many people
they've got no civil or no public pride sort of
thing.
thing.
Exactly. And if it's not there, then sadly the soldiers who are there are sadly at the mercy of the Taliban, and that is the Afghanistan's government's fault. And there's one thing for us spending loads of money and keeping supposedly a radical extreme group at bay, and then also looking after people at home. And these are the arguments that I suppose we've got the nationalist. Then people who favor on nationalists. I don't like using that word because sometimes it gets taken quite extremely. But people who favor spending money at home over spending money abroad. It's a very valid argument. It's why not spend all the money that we spent in Afghanistan, same with the US, on new roads, schools, hospitals, or our own military, if that.
But then I suppose also,
and then the other sense is, what about our moral duty?
To help those who can't help themselves. Yeah, exactly. So
there's two sides to every coin. I personally think that, just from a sense of, a moral obligation, we have to at least, at the bare minimum, take anyone that worked for us as a cook, a cleaner, they even just by working for the British government or British troops,
they put themselves in danger.
They put themselves and their families at danger.
Yeah.
And I think it's incredibly morally corrupt of us as a country who's supposedly now global Britain to abandon all the people that put their lives at risk for us. I'm not going to lie. It would be it is very possible that we in Britain could suffer from the same kind of civil separation that Afghanistan suffers from.
Yeah.
And another thing I was thinking about, I remember I was having a real argument with my dad about this morning, as we often do about lots of things, all political and worldview. And I said, in Britain, we do have extremist groups, but they tend not to get elected because even the people that sort of sympathize with their cause realize that having an extremist group would be unstable for the country.
Yeah.
I'm not calling Jeremy Corbyn extremist, but he was pretty strong left wing.
Yeah.
And he turned off a lot of Labour voters in the centre because he was so left wing, because they thought this man is too far for me.
Yeah.
And so the Taliban in an election would not be elected by a majority of Afghans. Firstly, because a lot of Afghans valued the Americans being there because women could lead lives and have jobs and study and go to school. But also there wasn't these brutal punishments under the Sharia system of law.
Yeah.
And so I think just from a perspective of does the Taliban have any legitimacy? Well, no, it doesn't, because it's not an elected government, it's a dictatorship.
Yeah.
And if you gave the people of Afghanistan
a choice,
I guarantee you they won't choose the Taliban.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd agree with that, right?
Oh yeah, no, completely. Yeah. Because I mean, like I say, I think although it was flawed, I think the fact, like you say, just the fact that women can actually go out, get jobs, they can be educated, they can go to university, that's progress. Regardless of whatever your political views are, regardless of whatever your religious views are, every person, man, woman, child, whatever, is entitled to vote, is entitled to an education.
Yeah.
And I again, if I offend somebody here, I apologize. But
I wouldn't apologize, mate. It's your opinion.
But obviously I have to, because we are broadcasting on a radio show that is regulated by Ofcom. But I feel like if that is not your view, that you do not believe that men, women, children, or whatever are entitled to a right of an education, then please feel free to go and jump off a bridge.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm absolutely not taking issue with you. I'm just being like, I really wouldn't apologize, because anyone who doesn't agree with that, I don't really care what they think.
Yeah.
Because every man, woman, and child has a right to an education and to vote and to free speech.
Exactly.
And one thing that, and I know it is not like, there's often this sense of that Americans going to try and instill the values for people, which, if I'm honest, I think they have to develop those values on their own.
Yeah.
And I think
you can advise and say, well, look, this is how we do it. But obviously
you need to work it out for
your own way
yourself.
of doing it.
Because I think because America tries to go in, like they tried to go in with Vietnam and take it over and install a democratic government. And that failed miserably because the communists at the time were so staunch. And it was all about ideology. It was all about, we want to install democratic values to rise up against the Soviet Union. Afghanistan was a means to pivot to have an influence in the region over China and Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what people say the long-term plan was: take Afghanistan and then take the rest of the region in Asia.
Yeah, because they're all kind of connected, aren't
yes,
they,
exactly. And have then you have allies in next to
in the Middle East. Yeah.
Well, not the Middle East, Asia, Central Asia.
Oh, right. Sorry.
You have allies in Central Asia which neighbor China and Russia, and so therefore you're building up supplies. And of course, they've gone in, failed terribly at installing a government because a lot of the elections had more votes than there were citizens.
Yeah,
so they weren't legitimate. And it's just a simple matter of the fact that America is terrible at doing interventionism, and they do it all the wrong ways. And I think all they do is go into somewhere and create animosity towards them.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like that? Because every intervention we do, or that anyone does, they just end up saying death to America.
Yeah. They're kind of, how can I say it? They go in all guns blazing. They'll bring mobile military units, which are the size of cities, to make sure everyone else. And after about 2 or 3 years, the steam's gone out of it, and
the public at home are like, "Why are our troops dying abroad?"
Yeah, exactly. And then it's half the time they're just like, "Oh, we can't be asked, so we'll just go home now. Can we not just go home now? I'm fed up of doing doing tours.
Yeah, and then
here.
the
So that's
taxpayer
it.
questions it, and then they get voted out by a democratic
Yeah,
system. And
it's
it all gets
true.
thrown in the bin.
I think their idea is, I think if they could go there, do it in 6 weeks, and put the water rights. Go on.
But it's
they'll be
never going to
happy.
happen.
Exactly. That's the problem. They run out of steam. That's what I think they do. And it's not a 5-minute fix. You know, you're effectively, however you want to look at it, you're destabilizing a government. You're destabilizing a country. You've
Well,
got
look
to
what we did in Iraq.
very delicately put it back together.
Look at Iraq. We
Yeah.
killed Saddam Hussein. Now there's a power vacuum, and the region's pretty messy.
Yeah, I mean,
we really messed up. Like, he was a dictator and he was brutal, but he did bring peace and stability.
Yeah, it was
nonetheless.
Well, that's it, because it's control. No matter how you look at it, it's control through fear. It's control through. There's no chaos, but like you say, there will always be a power vacuum whenever you depose a
powerful leader.
Yeah, a powerful leader or a regime or something like that. Whether that's the Taliban, whether that's Al Qaeda, whether that's the so-called Islamic State or anything like that. There's always going to be a power vacuum of someone else trying to take over that.
I think
that region or that area.
I completely agree with you, and I think what the issue is now with our foreign policy is that we don't let it work itself out on its own. Because imagine if there was a superpower back in the day, when France was going through its revolution, just sort of came in and getting rid of the monarchy. It came in and was like, no, don't do that. They just end up hating the monarchy more.
Yeah.
And then they'd get killed anyway at a cost of millions. Because look at what happened on its own. On its own, there was a revolution and a new society was formed, and one that was better for everyone, and one that was better for, all of society as opposed to a sect. So, but instead of that happening on its own now, where the people of Afghanistan would rise up against the Taliban or whoever on their own and form their new society, which does happen on its own. It's a natural evolution, I think, around the world. It's just happening at different speeds.
Yeah, it's not. It's kind of. It feels like it's not being done. I guess what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like it's not being done in a structured way.
It's being sort of like, oh well, let's help you speed up the process, and by intervening in the first place, you create animosity towards your intervention because you're a foreign power in another country. It's like. If
it's almost like we went there without being asked. It's almost like when you gatecrash a party.
I had to ask a friend of mine who's from Iran, and he went to my college, and I said to him, "Listen, why is there such hatred towards America in Iran?" He says, "Well, what if the US came over to Britain, installed itself, killed your leader, killed Boris Johnson, and then was just like, yeah, let's leave."
Yeah.
Can you imagine how furious the whole country would be? And that is why a majority of Iran hates the Americans, because they're a big foreign power coming in and killing their leaders.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Russia did that to Boris Johnson, we'd declare war?
Yeah, of course.
That's what Iran has done.
Yeah. I mean,
and to be honest, when I look at it from that perspective,
it's kind of right. Yeah. I mean, do you know what I try and think of? And this is a very weird analogy, and I'll say this, and then we're going to go to another break. But I kind of get the feeling if you imagine like Thunderbirds, for example, right? So anyone's never seen Thunderbirds, the original one, I mean, even the newer ones. Idea is big disaster happens, Thunderbirds come in, break out all the equipment, bish bash bosh. 45 minutes later, day saved. Off they go, back into hiding, and then that's it. They wait for the next emergency call. I kind of feel like it's obviously with Thunderbirds, they used to get the call. It's like calling international rescue. We need help.
Yeah.
There's a man falling off a bridge or something like that. He's going to fall into.
Send a rocket.
Exactly. Let's go send a rocket. And it's a guy who comes out and goes, right, let me get my mobile command center out here. It's like the only thing you can do literally is bring out a computer with a table and go, right, Virgil, go and do that.
Exactly. But what else is it like? You remember in SpongeBob?
Oh, yeah.
I think you know what I'm about to say.
Well, I was just going to say quickly, but what it feels like, I was just going to say with international rescue is, or with the Americans when they go out there, one, they're not being asked to go out there.
True.
And it turns into slightly a bit more into Team America.
Yeah.
They kind of make a big mess and then clear off and go, right, guys, we're off. See you later. It's like, we didn't ask you to come here and I've got to clean this up.
And do you know what's hilarious? They'll go to places, Americans will standardly, in like a foreign policy sense, go to places they've not been invited to and not go to places where they are invited because there's a human rights atrocity going on. Like in Rwanda, the Rwandan genocide, there was pleas and pleas and pleas for forces to come and stop the genocide that they all knew was happening, and they're like,
it's not in their interest.
Sorry,
is it?
buddy.
Yeah,
because I don't know. But what else is it? No, in SpongeBob, right? When they're like, they burnt, like SpongeBob and Patrick have burnt down Bikini Bottom.
Yes,
and they're like, look, Patrick, we saved the city. That's the Americans on every foreign policy intervention over the last 40 years.
I mean, but it's also the fact of, I mean, in fairness, probably when the Americans go out there, they are probably the only place that can actually burn down a city that was underwater. I'm telling you now. Like, I just think that when they do it and it goes so catastrophically wrong, it's not possible. But yeah, I don't, like I say, it is a worry. And I mean, there's even something just flagged up on my phone now from BBC News, and it just says female staff have gone, the music has stopped, and the Taliban have finished the food. The BBC reports from inside a Kabul hotel. And it's like, this is after a couple of days, and it's already starting to fall apart. So all this stuff about, we want females to be working with, well, if you believe that article, then it's not going to be the case, is it? It's already they've already started to lie after a couple of days. But we've got to go to a break, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about this, and then we might hopefully switch on to a little bit of random act of kindness, I think, to finish the hour. And trying to finish on a little something sweet. So stay right there. We will be right back on Revive FM.
This is Aisha. Her father died in an accident at a very young age. She lives with her mother and siblings. There are millions like Aisha who do not have access to the very basics of life, resulting in her and many others not being able to attend school. Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your charity is dedicated towards supporting the full needs of orphans and needy children around the world. Donate today. Call us now, 0300 30 30 777, or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
Ahoy there, matey. So you want to be a pirate, do you? Well, guess what? You now can at Fairlock Country Park. Come and hire one of our fantastic new boats at the lake. Find us on the tube on the Central Line, or drive down from East London. Fun for the whole family, har! You can row, pedal, or even try kayaking. We're open on weekends, all school holidays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come on down and set sail at Fairlock Country Park.
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximize the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 07944 56 5616. That's 07944 56 5616.
Waris Food Store, the place to go for all your meat and groceries. We stock thousands of items from fresh fruit and veg to all your favourite Ramadan food products. Based at 420 Hoe Street in Walthamstow, we can deliver anything you need right to your doorstep. Just give us a call on 0208 521 0000. Waris Food Stores is now also available on Uber Eats.
Taj Grill invites you to the world of Pakistani cuisine. With every dish prepared to perfection, why not try our sizzling mixed grill, our famous masala fish, or choose from our selection of freshly made curries and allow the Taj Grill experience to speak for itself. Visit us at 72 Ilford Lane or 508 Ilford High Road, or call 0208 262 6476. We also offer catering for all your events. Call us for more information.
With over 40 years experience in the industry, Plachette Carpets is the place to go for all your carpets, laminates, linos and wood flooring. We have an established network of suppliers, which means we can offer some of the best prices in town. We offer free estimates, free measurements and now even free fitting. Call us now on 0208 472 8568 or visit us at 157 Plachette Road, Upton Park, London, E13 0QZ.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
Hello there. You are listening to Revive FM 94.0. It is Tuesday. It is Scott and Hutch. My name is Tom Hutchinson, which by process of elimination must make him
David Johnson.
I thought so. Who are you and what have you done with Mr. Scott?
No, I am Mr. Scott.
So we have
Sorry,
been.
I had to take advantage of that one.
I mean, I set you up for it, so you knocked it right out of the park. It was a 6 out of the oval, sir. That's what it was.
It's only a 6 out of 10 in terms of good chat.
No, it was a 6. It's in cricket. Come on, man, you know about cricket. 6 is the highest score you can get.
No, I know that.
I just can't remember. What is it? Is it that for 6 or?
Isn't it that?
Is it
No,
that?
that's wide. That's wide. Oh, I don't know. Cricket's not relevant, is it?
I don't know. I think they're just doing YMCA.
Should we get back to the current affairs?
We had better.
Yes,
we had better. We have been talking pretty much since the start of the show about the ongoing issues in Afghanistan with the Taliban seizing control of the country after the US troops have decided to pull out, probably at the worst possible time. As we said before, we are a call-in show. We would love to get your views on this. Our number is 0333
444
09
40.
That's 0333
444
09
40.
Or you can also leave us a message on our Facebook and YouTube streams by searching for Revive FM UK. So yeah, I mean, we were sort of talking just, even in the break, like, we were just about to, just the adverts came back on about the people that are going to be potentially part of this UK settlement scheme from Afghanistan, which I think is great in principle, but I do sort of think, and again, I have to watch how I say this because I don't want to offend, but
Oh, Tom, the thing is, by saying that, you're offending people anyway.
I will. Yeah,
I've already offended like 10 people.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest with you. That's not even a record for me. I've done a lot more. I've done a lot more in a lot shorter space of time.
Whoa.
But
don't tell us about that.
Oh no, I won't.
You'll get cancelled.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, whoopee, I've been cancelled. That's the words I can just hear in my head now.
I've been cancelled.
Really?
Yeah. I used to be in a climate activist group called the UK Student Climate Network. It's since collapsed because it was run so poorly and in such a toxic manner. And it's a shame it's gone defunct because it had a lot of promise. And they used to run these amazing protests and get kids and adults educated about climate change and global warming. And it's a real shame it collapsed because it was very good. I mean, obviously it had issues, but it could have been very good.
Yeah.
No, but what was it? I was in one of the forum sessions, and I said, "Oh no, overpopulation is a contributor to climate change. There's too many people on the planet." I'm not saying like genocide. I was like never ever saying that.
Yeah.
But I was like,
someone has taken it.
It's about expanding women's rights. It's about providing contraception, Planned Parenthood, providing access to abortions and safe medical care for everyone around the world. And by doing that, you lower the birth rate anyway, because people realize that there are risks involved with pregnancy and they're educating people at the same time. But no, apparently I was racist. Yeah, really? No, I didn't quite get that either. I did ask why, and they said because it's racist rhetoric. It's like, yeah, but I don't believe in the racist rhetoric. I believe in what I believe. I don't believe in the racism side of it. They said, well, by no, you're racist. So I removed myself from the group before I was removed, and I and I got hounded on Twitter and stuff. It's not fun. It's not a fun experience, especially when like it's really not the case and it's just a bunch of people taking it. They get
easily offended.
But that's getting cancelled, man. It's just really stupid.
Yeah, it is really. I mean,
I just choose to ignore it. I'm like, well, difference of opinion. Just shut up.
Yeah, it's like everyone is entitled to their own opinion, no matter how wrong no matter how wrong you are. Like that's it. So like,
anti-vaxxers.
Oh, don't get me started on them. I will get cancelled if I do. I
don't think you are. I think the rest of the country will agree with you. If you're gonna, I love this Trafalgar Square, massive protest, big broadcast all over YouTube. And there's this woman, I don't know her name.
Oh, yes, I know.
You've seen the woman.
I've seen it, yeah.
It was all over the papers. If you didn't see it, get your head out of a rock.
I wonder what you were going to say there for a minute.
No. Get your heads out of the sand or something like that. Yeah. But she had so much Botox in her. Like her face was just like plastic.
She couldn't emote. There's no way.
Yeah.
Her
face was very stiff, right?
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, do you know what's in that Botox?
Yeah.
Because I'm guarantee you don't know what's in that vaccine.
Botulism, is it botulism tox? What's the full name of it? It's botulism toxemia or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And so she was touting about how like, they don't know, this is something putting into their bodies. I'm like, but you'll have Botox.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I think you're a big fat phony.
A big fat phony.
I was waiting for you to do that.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you. You set me up for it.
But yeah, like you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, that's a bit hypocritical, isn't it? Well, I don't want to have stuff that's put. I don't want to have stuff that's put into my arm. Sorry, I don't
face.
want to have stuff that's put into my arm because I don't know what's in it. But all the stuff in my face is absolutely okay. Like, I see. I'm kind of. I'm a little bit hypocritical because I will be like, okay, whatever you do that is legal or whatever, and it's not harming everyone else, fine. But I am also of the thing. So we've completely gone off of Afghanistan, haven't we? I've just noticed. But I'm also of the thing of unless it's for medical reasons, i.e., for example, like my busted nose. I cannot breathe. I struggle to breathe with a mask on, and even now with hay fever, I'm suffocating. That's why if anyone's listening to this, I sound a little bit heavy. I apologise. That's the reason why, because I'm breathing a bit heavy.
Sound fine, man. No, don't do that. People are listening to this on their car radios.
Exactly.
Sorry, everyone.
Just gonna hear a bloke on the A12 going,
"No, stop it."
If you look in the back of the trunk,
it makes my ears feel weird.
But anyway, so I have to get my nose fixed because I cannot breathe.
Yeah,
okay,
of course.
simple as that. But I truly believe that be happy with the body you are in. There are people who are either disabled or who would love to look, the way that we look, for whatever reason. Okay, don't go pumping your face full of toxins, Botox,
I had
fillers.
no idea where that conversation was going.
That's what I was trying to say. It was like for medical procedures and stuff. If it's like all cosmetic surgery, I'm against it. I believe in sort of growing old disgracefully. If I'm going to get grey hairs, if I'm going to get grey hairs, so be it.
Naturally, Tom, is the word.
If I'm going to get lines in my forehead like I get when I go like that, sometimes fine. I've got bags under my eyes. I don't care. I've got crow's feet. I don't care. I'm going to grow old, and I'm hopefully going to look the same as I did when I came out of the womb. However many years from the start to the finish, obviously aged. I don't want to be coming out looking like sort of, Jackie Stallone, who had so much stuff pumped in her face that she couldn't even say her own name. When she went in the Big Brother house, she went, "Oh my God, like Jackie!"
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton again. It's kind of, but that's again, it's kind of going down that route. But
exactly.
It's not too bad.
Well, I mean, put it this way: like people have the freedom to do what they want.
Yeah,
and like it's not like plastic surgery is regulated in this country to that extent. Like if you have the money and you want to get your cheeks turned into non-movable entities that have their own brains, then by all means go ahead. But frankly, most of you out there probably are stunning.
Exactly.
And you don't need the surgery.
And do you know what? Because we've got a couple of minutes to do it. That was actually a very nice random act of kindness. Should we have some more?
Oh, if we can do it in 3 minutes.
I think we can do it.
Go.
I like a challenge. Hang on. Let me try and find where's the link for here? Here we are. Right. Are you ready, sir?
Yes. Go.
Let's go for it.
If you're feeling down, time to stop that frown.
If you're feeling blue, we bet you are today.
Time to put on your shoes. Don't feel so sad or kind of bad because it's random acts of kindness.
Right, we've got to rattle these through. Have you got any this week, sir?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Is it going to be your friend who's kicked a swan by any chance?
No, actually. Because I didn't ask Instagram for once. But I encourage all of you to. My handle is Henry B. J. Scott. But nonetheless, moving on very quickly. Okay, so a woman let me out as I was running into the studio today. She stopped her car in the middle of the high street outside the studio and was like, "Go, go, go!" And I was like, "Yes, yes, yes!" And I ran across.
Like, thank you.
And that's why I was here with literally 30 seconds to spare.
Brilliant.
If she hadn't let me out, I probably wouldn't have made it on time. So that's something that nice happened to me this week. What else did I do? Oh, yeah. So basically, the administrator of a choir, I'm in National Youth Choir, had she had her wedding. So congratulations, Lizzie. I hope you and Johnny have a wonderful honeymoon and a wonderful holiday. What is it? Something or other. Basically, there were 5 of us, and I drove everyone up 5.5 hours to the Lake District, and then drove another 4.5 hours back down. Because otherwise there wouldn't have been many singers at that wedding.
Brilliant.
So I took one for the team.
Well done, sir.
I took a pay cut at work, and I was just like, it'll be loads of fun, and I was very happy to drive them all up.
Oh,
and they
amazing!
Were a great bunch.
That's great. All right, well, I'll tell you, I've actually had a couple come in as well this week on the Instagrammings and the Facebookings. So quickly, I have Samantha from Dagenham. She's put that she gave some clothes away to charity and let someone go in front of her at the shops. I also have Shireen, who doesn't say where she's from, but says that she got someone off the hook for messing up her car, which I'm not quite sure what that's about.
That sounds
Is
that a random act of kindness?
Well, I don't know. I suppose it means they didn't get her in trouble. I suppose.
But like, they messed up her car.
Yeah, but then
that
she
seems
got
kind of dodgy,
but then she got the person off the hook, so they didn't get me in trouble.
But who's taking the blame now then?
Well, I don't know.
Own your responsibilities.
I suppose, but still, that was nice. And then I've also got here Stella from the Isle of Sheppey, who also says that she looked after her friend's 10-year-old granddaughter for 5 hours. So I think that's some nice little random acts of kindness there.
That is a lovely
to end the show on. And well, so should we play that amazing jingle one more time?
Let's play that jingle and go to a break.
Come on!
If you're feeling down, time to stop your frown. If you're feeling blue, time to put on your shoes. Don't feel so sad or kind of bad, because it's random acts of kindness.
And unfortunately, this is where you're leaving us, I believe. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Totally forgot about that.
See, I could have kept in here for another hour. We could have had some
I
more.
genuinely forgot I had to go, and I'm literally supposed to be on a conference call in 5 minutes.
Right. Well, we better. Well, we also got a conference call into our ad break. So, Mr. Scott, it's been a pleasure having you this week.
Oh, mate, I'm actually gutted I'm leaving.
I know. Well, don't worry, because you've got me for the next 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll be
Everyone,
talking about some
please
stuff.
do stay tuned. Tom is a wonderful solo presenter, and I hope he continues to do some sort of show after I leave off in like 4 weeks.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And that university, he really is amazing, guys.
My random act of kindness will be 50 quid in your bank account within the next 5 minutes.
Go away.
Right, stay right there. We'll be right back after these not so subliminal messages. Stay tuned.
Does your pizza excite you? The London Pizza Depot invites you on a journey with our worldwide inspired pizzas. To the smoke and jerk drums of Jamaica, to savor the Caribbean hot, to sunny California, to enjoy the greatest invention, the Cali cheeseburger. Transport yourself with every bite. Our authentically prepared hand-stretched dough, freshly diced veg, finest cuts of halal meat, and our 100% mozzarella cheese ensures the delivery of a masterpiece every time. Visit www.londonpizzadepot.co.uk or our branches in Ilford or Plaistow. Now you can enjoy buy one pizza get one free every Tuesday. T's and C's apply.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं अपनी ज़कात सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
Thinking of selling or letting your property? Need someone reliable to find the best prospect for your home? Well, look no further. Cameron Adams is here to take care of all your needs. Our professional and experienced team will guide you through the entire process and ensure you find the right client for your property. For a no-obligation quotation, contact us now on 0208 558 2000. That's 0208 558 2000. Or visit us at 30 Church Lane in Leytonstone. Cameron Adams, always at your service.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam, including Tajweed, Fiqh, Seerah, and Aqidah, we endeavour to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals, and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrolment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_london@minhajuk.org.
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximize the full potential of your property. 0208 952 0808 for a free no-obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
The Career Link Project is a free employment and careers service aimed at supporting young BAME women to navigate a path towards a successful future. If you're 16 or over and currently out of work, you could receive up to 10 months of personalised one-on-one career support and skills-based training to help you secure your future. Get in touch with us today on 07862 035 511 or email us at clp@tffn.co.uk. The Career Link Project, your future in your hands.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 07944 56 5616. That's 07944 56 5616.
Revive FM.
94.0. On the radio.
On your mobile.
And online. This is
Revive FM.
94.0. With the latest news from around the world.
Promising not to block Western forces evacuating their citizens. Here's NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg.
NATO's focus right now is to ensure the safe departure of personnel from allied and partner countries and of the Afghans who have helped us. NATO has been working round the clock to maintain operations at the Kabul International Airport.
Boris Johnson is hoping to arrange a meeting of world leaders at the earliest opportunity. The UK has recorded another 170 coronavirus-related deaths, the highest daily figure since the 12th of March. Meanwhile, the medical watchdog has approved the Moderna vaccine for children aged 12 and over, but a separate committee will decide whether kids should be given the jab. A nationwide police hunt is underway for a mum and her 10-year-old child after courts threatened to put her son into care. 42-year-old Kelly Jeffries and her son Knox were last seen last month leaving their home in Bristol. Job vacancies in the UK are at their highest on record, but wages have also picked up. There were more than 1 million available positions in July, but annual growth in average pay has risen to 7.4%. And 40 new HGV test examiners are being recruited as part of efforts to tackle the shortage of lorry drivers. But Trade Union Unite has estimated we need another 75,000 truckers in England and Wales to keep the haulage industry going. That's the latest. I'm Kat Suave.
This is Revive FM 94.0.
Reviving communities.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
Hello there, welcome back to Revive FM 94.0. It's Tuesday, so by now you should know what that means. If not, then, well, that's your problem. We've been doing this now for over 12 months. My name is Tom Hutchinson. As you know, Mr. Henry Scott has had to leave well, we can let the cat out of the bag. He's actually going to be doing the BBC proms. So he's going to be at the Royal Albert Hall in a couple of weeks' time. So he's getting off to go and prepare for that. And then he's going off to uni. And then September the 7th, this juggernaut of a show is actually going to be ending. So that will be the end of the Scott and Hutch era at Revive FM. But don't worry, you've got me here for the next 60 minutes. My name, as I said, is Tom Hutchinson, and we are a call-in show. If you'd like to speak to us, our number is 0333 444 0940. That is 0333 444 0940. You can also leave us a message on our WhatsApp. On our WhatsApp service. Also, you can contact us on Facebook and YouTube by searching Revive FM UK. But we're going to start off with a little bit of music just to get things going here. So this is from a band called Lofthouse, and this is Fly.
Why does dark take in the light? Why does day turn into night in your eyes? Why did you walk away from me and let go with memories gone by? fade. 'Cause I don't mind. How can you run away from your dreams and still fly? Why did you have to leave? I couldn't believe you'd gone. I couldn't believe you'd gone. I feel you in my heart, though you're 2 worlds apart from me. Yeah. Why do I cry each night? I don't know. Why do I lie to myself and hide away? I know you're free, so fly. What is wrong with losing faith? 'Cause I don't mind. How can you run away from your dreams and still
really do like that song. I know I've played it a few times on the show here, and some of the reviews that we've been getting from our listeners prove that you guys do otherwise. That was Loft House, and that was Fly. As I say, this is Revive FM. My name is Tom Hutchinson. We are here, or I am here, I should say, for the next, you got me for the next 50 minutes. So if you want to contact us about anything that's going on in the news or anything at all that you want to talk about, our number is 0333 444 0940. That's 0333 444 0940. But, and hopefully if I can get this to work, we're going to go back into some news.
On FM, on YouTube, Facebook, under your bed, in your closet, and we're hiding in your fridge. Henry Scott and Tom Hutchinson bring you the news on Revive FM.
Yes, that is what we are here to do. We are here to give you the news and also a little bit of entertainment. We've got some nice, more light-hearted stories coming up towards the end of the show. So obviously we've actually spent most of the first hour, me and Henry, speaking about the ongoing issues in Afghanistan, seeing as the US troops have decided to pull out, probably at the worst time. So for those of you who don't know, United States troops have decided to pull out. They are withdrawing from Afghanistan completely. This has now caused a bit of a power vacuum, and the Taliban has now taken over all townships and areas in Afghanistan. There were the terrible, terrible, terrible scenes of people trying to cling on to the outside of a C-17 United States military aircraft to try and get out of there. There were people unfortunately falling to their deaths from several hundred feet as they're hanging onto the fuselage. People who are found dead in the wheel wells, and it's terrible when you feel that like you've got to risk your life like that to try and get out of the country. The Taliban as well have also declared a, quote, amnesty across Afghanistan and urged women to join the government following a day of chaos that saw citizens descend on the airport in mass, basically in a bid to flee their rule. A member of the Taliban's Cultural Commission, and again, I hope I say this right, Inamullah Samangali has said that the Islamic Emirati doesn't want women to be the victims. They should be in government structure according to Sharia law. He also added that the structure of the government is not fully clear yet, but based on experience, there should be a fully Islamic leadership and all sides should join. Senior leader Amir Khan Mutaki is said to be in Afghanistan's capital negotiating with Kabul's political leadership. Female broadcasters were taken off air for a number of days, and a female television anchor on a private broadcaster, Tulo, interviewed a Taliban official on camera Tuesday in a studio. Also, Taliban fighters have been ordered to maintain discipline and not to enter any diplomatic buildings or interfere with embassy vehicles. Quote, Taliban members have been ordered at all levels to ensure that we don't disrespect any country's presence in Afghanistan, said a senior official who declined to be identified. However, the international community remains skeptical about these promises, and the UN Secretary General expressed particular concern about the future of women and girls in the country. So it is, the country was last ruled by the Taliban from 1996 to 2001 when the United States went out there, and obviously we joined them. It does feel a little bit like sort of Groundhog Day, especially with the fact that next month, as I said, is the 20th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks. You do sort of feel like maybe the world was turning a corner slightly, but then now that just that quickly, things have changed. It will raise up that old question of should we have ever been in Iraq anyway? But also some of the things that the reason why there's those terrible scenes of people wanting to leave is because back in the previous rule, from 96 to 2001, women were forbidden from working. They had to cover their faces and be accompanied by a male relative if they wanted to leave their homes. And girls could not go to school as well. Stonings, amputations, and public executions were widely used as punishment. And there's also the other terrifying thing that most of the military equipment used by the United States, so such as weapons, vehicles, protective gear, PPE, it's all been left abandoned by an American contractor that's based in the city at Kabul airport. So there is now a slight concern, well, I say a slight concern, a major concern, that the United States has left equipment ready to be used by the Taliban. I mean, hopefully that it's just been sensationalized by the media and that's not the case, because if so, that could be a real worry. And I think the other thing as well is I know that myself and Henry were talking about this during the first hour of the show. And we were going to touch on it, but we didn't go into too much detail. So obviously there is going to be a settlement scheme for Afghans who I believe were assisting. Excuse me, I can't speak today, which is not good on the radio. That were assisting the Allied forces whilst they were stationed out in Iraq, whether they were technicians or cleaners, cooks, just assisted with the general day-to-day running of the camps, such as like Camp Bastion. The other interesting thing is, and I've heard a few people start rumblings about this, and I think it was going to happen, so I think it needs to be discussed. How stringent will the checks be on the people that are going to be offered this? Will it be a big, will there be a lot of people coming in? Is it going to be just a couple of hundred, a couple of thousand? To be honest with you, I think if you helped out this country or the United States and Afghanistan, we welcome you with open arms. We want to say thank you. I think it's the least that we could do, because obviously those people are putting themselves on the line, and hopefully that will be it will be picked up, and it's not going to cause too many tensions out of it. Right, we're going to play another song now because I feel like we need to sort of pick the tune up a little bit. So I'm going to play this one. I've always had this on my my Revive FM playlist, and I want to break it out now. So this is Michael Kiwanuka, and this is Hero.
My hero, my hero now. My hero, my hero now. Please don't shoot me down. I love you like a papa. It's on the music again. I guess they killed the mother. My hero, my hero now. To die a hero is all that we know now. Oh, we all get told to go alone. Oh, we know it's all for sure. We know, we know. My hero, my hero now. To die a hero is all that we know now. Yeah. My hero, fallen hero now. Hear me sing Lord, speak no hero now. My hero, I'm going to reload now. Broken people, they go and we go now.
I really, really, really do like that song. That was Michael Kiwanuka, and that was Hero here on Revive FM. So we've got a few more things to be talking about. Obviously, if there's anything that you would like to discuss, you know our number by now. It's 0333 444 0940. That is 0333 444 0940. We're going to be going to a break in a few moments' time. We're going to have to talk about. So we're going to have to talk about. We will be talking about our other famous topic that's been going on for the past 18 months now, which is coronavirus. So New Zealand has declared that they will be going back into a quick national lockdown for a few days. So obviously, we'll be talking about that a bit more in a moment. Obviously, we've had the reports, as you heard at the top of the hour, that 170 deaths have been confirmed, or COVID-related deaths in the last 24 hours here in the UK, and the infection rate is around about 26,000 people. I think by the sounds of it now, this is going to be the terrible sort of reality that we're going to have of we're going to have to live with this now, and it's a real shame to see that we're almost becoming a bit blasé over it. It's like, oh, there's more deaths. It's beforehand we were going, oh my god, it's terrible, it's disgusting, and we should not be letting this happen. And I suppose also this is because of these will be the times when because the date is always about 4 weeks out. So this would have been about the time that the country was coming out of lockdown, all restrictions were ending. So suppose we are going to see a sort of a rise in numbers. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more after the break. So stay tuned to Revive FM. We're going to pay some bills, play some ads, and we'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 07944 56 5616. That's 07944 56 5616.
We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lamachon, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, IG11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
Looking to get your finances in order? MR Accountants has you covered. We provide a full range of accountancy and taxation services, including annual and management accounts, self-assessment tax returns, VAT, bookkeeping, and payroll services. We ensure you're kept up to date with the latest legislation, and our client-focused approach helps us plan your business finances from savings to investments. We are MR Accountants. Visit our website at mraccountants.com or call us on 0203 432 9138.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद। आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन, बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी। मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद, यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी। इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए। अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam, including tajweed, fiqh, seerah, and aqidah, we endeavor to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals, and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrollment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_London@minhajuk.org.
Does your pizza excite you? The London Pizza Depot invites you on a journey with our worldwide inspired pizzas. To the smoke and jerk drums of Jamaica, to savor the Caribbean hot, to sunny California, to enjoy the greatest invention, the Cali cheeseburger. Transport yourself with every bite. Our authentically prepared hand-stretched dough, freshly diced veg, finest cuts of halal meat, and our 100% mozzarella cheese ensures the delivery of a masterpiece every time. Visit www.londonpizzadepot.co.uk or our branches in Ilford or Plaistow. Now you can enjoy buy one pizza, get one free every Tuesday. T's and C's apply.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jyoti Sood. Let's face it, lockdown has left many of us carrying some extra weight. But extra weight can put pressure on our bodies, making it harder to fight diseases like cancer, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. So now is a great time for us to get our weight on track. The Better Health website has lots of free tools and tips to get you started. So for help and support to lose weight, search Better Health. Let's do this.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
Hello, welcome back to Revive FM 94.0. It is Tuesday. It is Scott and Hutch. My name is Tom Hutchinson, and I think it's time we do a little bit more news.
News.
Yeah, I quite like that one. So as we were saying, or as I was saying just before we went to the break, the UK has recorded it's a good start. Let me try this again. I'll tell you what, let's just go back and do this again. Let's start from the beginning. How about this? There we go. So we've got the UK has recorded 170 COVID-related deaths in the last 24 hours, with infection rates at around about 26,000. Now, New Zealand, off the back of it, has also confirmed that they are going into a lockdown for 3 days starting Wednesday after the country recorded its first coronavirus case in 6 months. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said that the nation will be put under strict lockdown after one COVID case was reported in Auckland. The whole of New Zealand will be in lockdown for 3 days from Wednesday. Auckland and Coromandel, a coastal town where the infected person also spent time, will be in lockdown for 7 days. So they could you imagine trying to do this in the UK? Imagine it. One person in Ipswich gets coronavirus. They shut the whole country down for 3 days. Could you imagine us? We would not be. There is no way that we would do that. I think the way people were quite blasé in all the lockdowns really, and still sort of taking the proverbial, it wouldn't have happened, would it? Could you imagine? And this is why New Zealand's on it. Why they are. They haven't had a confirmed case or a death in the last 6 months. This will basically mark New Zealand's first nationwide lockdown since the country's initial pandemic response over a year ago. And since then, regionalised alert level changes have been used to control the spread of the virus. So under New Zealand's toughest level 4 lockdown rules, schools, offices and all other businesses will be closed with only essential services running. About 20% of New Zealand's population has now been fully vaccinated. Ms. Ardern told a news conference that the Delta has been a game changer and we are responding to that. The best thing we can do to get out of this as quickly as we can is to go hard. We have made the decision on the basis that it is better to start high and go down levels rather than go low, not to contain the virus and for it to move more quickly. The patient is a 58-year-old man who is believed to have been infectious since last Thursday. Miss Ardern has said that the assumption was that the new case was a Delta variant infection, although this has not yet been confirmed. The possibility of more cases was also raised. New Zealand has not reported any community-based cases since February, and the island nation has followed a strict go hard, go early strategy, which has seemed to virtually eliminate the virus within its borders, which remain largely closed due to international visitors. The strategy, basically, this is the number. So we're on about 130, 140,000 cases, over 1,000 deaths. Do you know how many they've had since the pandemic began last year? 26 deaths and 2,500 cases. All right, now I know that they are a smaller nation compared to us, but you've got to be honest with you. If we'd have done that, and also, let's be honest, if we'd have actually been paying attention to the rules and following the rules, we wouldn't be in this sort of stop-start situation that we're in. So sometimes I feel like we are our own worst enemies, if I'm brutally honest. But good luck to them. And for everyone who's out there, so obviously New Zealand will be starting their national lockdown tomorrow. The local lockdowns in Auckland will be for the next week, so that's going to start from tomorrow as well. So honestly, we wish you the best of luck, guys. From everyone here at Revive FM, we hope that you come out of this and the virus will be eradicated. We also hope that the person who has the virus will make a full recovery and won't suffer any long-term effects. And let's just hope that it's not sort of spread too much as well, and it could sort of start things back up again over there. Because let's be honest, I don't know about you, we kind of look to New Zealand as kind of like the beacon of how we should be doing this, So yeah, fingers crossed that you guys are going to be all right. But what I think we're going to do now is I think we're going to try and play a little bit more music. So I kind of like playing this one. So I'm going to see if I can get it to work. There we go. This is Sam and Dave, and this is Hold On, I'm Coming. Only on Revive FM. I mean, is that just not a feel-good tune or what? That is Sam and Dave, and that is Hold On, I'm Coming. And for those of you who may or may not know, oh, there we are. Hello. I mean, that is kind of it's almost turned into a little bit of a football anthem now, isn't it? So, so I am here. My name is Tom Hutchinson. Mr. Henry Scott has had to leave early because he's getting ready to go on the BBC Proms. I mean, how cool is that? He's going to be performing at the Royal Albert Hall. I mean, jammy or what? I mean, that's pretty cool. So make sure you tune in for that. I believe it's going to be on the BBC this Saturday evening. And it's going to be on BBC Radio 3 on Friday night because it's going to be live. So if you can, make sure you tune into that because you get to hear the man, the myth, and the overall downright legend that is Henry Scott singing. So yeah, look forward to that. I will definitely be watching. Right, I can go to. We have one more little news article before we have to go to our final commercial break of the of the show, really, and then we're off for another week. So we all have those really bad days at work, and like, there's times where we just thought, what we're doing here, we don't really want to be here. Well, spare a poor thought for this poor lady. So an animal handler in Utah at a Utah reptile center came close to actually losing a hand after being attacked by an alligator during a children's party. Now, I'm sorry. When I was growing up, if you wanted to have a kids' party, you went to your Mackie D's or you went to like a soft play or something like that. I never once went, as a 3-year-old, Mummy, can I please go and see the alligators? I'm sorry. I never thought of that ever. Oh, I can go and see an alligator. Great. I don't want to see an alligator. That terrifies me. I mean, just I'm like Archer. My 3 biggest fears. It's going to be alligators, crocodiles, and the brain aneurysm. Well, maybe not a brain aneurysm, but the Bermuda Triangle is my 4th biggest fear. Is this about the Bermuda Triangle? Because that's my 4th biggest fear. Anyway, phrasing. Actually, it wasn't phrasing, was it? But anyway, so we can't play the video because it's quite graphic. But the alligator yanked the handler into the enclosure. So to try and imagine this, right? So imagine this is what you see on the video. The alligator was in like a shallow tank of water. Okay, it's up to it's probably about half full half up to its body in water. All of a sudden, this alligator is just starting to lock eyes on the girl, who's the handler, and she puts her hand over like to try and push it to go backwards, and the alligator is having none of it, and all of a sudden goes for the hand. And then proceeds to do the gator roll, which then drags the woman in, and she starts rolling around. And basically, it happened at the Scales and Tails Sanctuary in Salt Lake City. So there was footage that was filmed by a party guest, which is what I was alluding to. She was basically fighting to break free, and it actually took one of the visitors, a person by the name of Donnie Wiseman, who yelled for help and then jumped into the water, climbing on top of the crocodile. So Mr. Wiseman was yelling, "We've got trouble in here!" before the handler gave him and another guest, Todd Christopher, instructions on how to help her escape from the grip. The children at this point they're still watching. They're obviously starting to get a bit distressed, and eventually, some bright spark then decides to sort of, take the kids away because this woman's in trouble. She's about to potentially lose her hand or an arm to this gator. Mr. Wiseman, Donnie Wiseman, who was, as I say, one of the guests, then jumped on top of the reptile until the handler's hand was free, and Mr. Christopher's wife, who's in the background, has a background nursing, and then was performing first aid until the emergency services arrived. The handler underwent surgery after the incident on Saturday and is doing well, according to the Scales and Tails. Shane Richins, the company's owner, said that the handler was opening the enclosure to feed the alligator as per usual, but the reptile, quote, got a little extra spunky. I mean, that's putting it mildly, really, isn't it? Like you say got spunky. They are the perfect killers. They kind of just they haven't had to evolve over the last couple of 100 million years because they are so adept at what they do. They don't need to evolve. So he said that the centre normally has a strict policy for a second handler to be nearby when employees are working with the alligators, but that hasn't been enforced in recent years if the worker isn't planning to enter the enclosure, he said. We still enforce it strictly whenever somebody gets in with the gator, but of course, going forward, we'll be back to the strictly enforcing it with any interactions with the gator for that very reason. The business also thanked Mr. Wiseman and Mr. Christopher for their help in a Facebook post. Quote, their help combined with the training of our staff member probably saved her hand and her limbs. So it's great to hear that obviously the handler's okay, and well done to the guys for sort of jumping. I mean, I've seen when I watched the video, the guy who was just one of the visitors there, he's not a trained not a trained handler or anything like that, jumps on this alligator's back, pins it down to the point it can't, slam its tail around or thrash or anything like that, and basically gets this woman's hand out. It's great to see that she's going to be okay, and it does beg the question: if they had this policy in place, why was it not enforced? Like, why is it not being done? And for the owner to openly admit that for the last couple of years, we've not really been doing it. These are killer animals. They are not the sort of thing that you take lightly. It's not like a chihuahua with a really bad bite or a cat with a really sharp claw. This thing is an expert killing machine. But I don't know. But as I say, the main thing is I'm glad that I'm glad that obviously the handler is okay, and we send all our thoughts and love to you, and I'm going to see if we can try and get one more song on before we go to another break. So anyone who knows me knows I love a little bit of Oasis, and Liam Gallagher is actually performing tonight at the O2 for the NHS, so I'm going to play a little bit of Oasis. This is Oasis and the meaning of soul.
I gotta show you, man, the meaning of soul. I'm taking my love tonight. Get out of my way, man, I think what you say. But that ain't enough, alright. I'm different breed till I'm mighty elite. 10 out of 10 all night. Get out of my way, man, I think what you say. But that ain't enough, alright. Alright, I see the love in your eyes. If it's alright, then I'll be your light. I gotta show you, man, the meaning of soul. I'm taking a love tonight. Get out of my way, man, I dig what you say. But that ain't enough, alright. I'm different region, and I'm out of your league. 10 out of 10 all night. Get out of my way, man, I dig what you say. But that ain't enough, alright. Alright, I see the love in your eyes. If it's alright, then I'll be your light. I gotta show you, man, the meaning of soul. I'm taking a love tonight.
Waris Food Store, the place to go for all your meat and groceries. We stock thousands of items from fresh fruit and veg to all your favourite Ramadan food products. Based at 420 Hoe Street in Walthamstow, we can deliver anything you need right to your doorstep. Just give us a call on 0208 521 0000. Waris Food Stores is now also available on Uber Eats.
आपको मालूम है कि नूरा जैसी बच्चियां पानी के लिए रोजाना 3 मील पैदल सफर तय करती हैं। मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन को यकीन है कि आप छोटे और बड़े पैमाने पर पानी के मंसूबे लगाकर इस बहरान को खत्म कर सकते हैं। आपके एहतियात दुनिया भर के पसमानदा लोगों का म्यार जिंदगी बेहतर बना रहे हैं, जबकि अभी बहुत कुछ करना बाकी है। पानी सबके लिए के प्रोजेक्ट में हमारी मदद कीजिए। आज ही अतिया कीजिए या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jyoti Sood. Let's face it, Lockdown has left many of us carrying some extra weight. But extra weight can put pressure on our bodies, making it harder to fight diseases like cancer, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. So now is a great time for us to get our weight on track. The Better Health website has lots of free tools and tips to get you started. So for help and support to lose weight, search Better Health. Let's do this.
With over 40 years' experience in the industry, Plachette Carpets is the place to go for all your carpets, laminates, linos, and wood flooring. We have an established network of suppliers, which means we can offer some of the best prices in town. We offer free estimates, free measurements, and now even free fitting. Call us now on 0208 472 8568 or visit us at 157 Plachette Road, Upton Park, London, E13 0QZ.
Let's connect with the Holy Quran. Minhaj Dawah Project distributes the Holy Quran in plain simple English for free. You can donate £3 and sponsor a Quran to a loved one, a neighbour, a colleague or a friend. We distribute Qurans totally free of charge across the whole UK, including in prisons. Please call us now to contribute on 0300 030 1951 or email us on dawah@minhajuk.org.
Taj Grill invites you to the world of Pakistani cuisine. With every dish prepared to perfection, why not try our sizzling mixed grill, our famous masala fish, or choose from our selection of freshly made curries and allow the Taj Grill experience to speak for itself. Visit us at 72 Ilford Lane or 508 Ilford High Road or call 0208 262 6476. We also offer catering for all your events. Call us for more information.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 079 44 56 5616. That's 079 44 56 5616.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
Hello there, you are listening to Revive FM 94.0. It's Tuesday, it's the last part of this week's Scott and Hutch. My name is, of course, Tom Hutchinson. I hope that song woke you up a little bit before the ad break there. That was Oasis and The Meaning is Soul. Right, we've got one more little bit of the show. We're here for the next, I'm here for the next, 14, 15 minutes. And I actually want to end on a little bit of a happy note, and it's gonna be playing this old classic, which those of you of a certain age may or may not remember. The only thing I'm going to say to that is all aboard. We all remember this, don't we? So there is a very good reason why I'm actually playing this song. So a rail crazy couple have decided to tie the knot in their quote dream place, which was on board a train. Laura Dale and Jane Magnet travelled on the West Coast Main Line when they first met, and so winning a competition to have their wedding on a train was a dream come true. The newlyweds from Surrey beat 150 other entries for the opportunity to say "I do" on the Avanti West Coast service. Be honest with you, as dreams go, I could think of somewhere else. I mean, other than the sort of the West Coast Main Line, especially the amount of times it's been delayed. The line connects with major cities such as London and Glasgow, with branches to Birmingham, Liverpool, Manchester, and Edinburgh. They had hoped to get married nearly 2 years ago, but were delayed by a combination of finances, logistics, and of course, our lovely friend, the COVID-19 pandemic. So after gathering for a champagne reception at London's Euston Station, the pair and 18 guests boarded a Pendolino carriage decorated with flowers. Two of the guests were Ms. Dale's sisters, who she had not seen since the pandemic began. Imagine that. I mean, like, my sister lives in Paris, but even I've had the opportunity to go and, well, she's come over to the UK to for a flying visit when cause she works for Disney. Spoiler alert. So even I've been able to see her. I saw her summer last year, and hopefully, if all goes to plan, I'm going to be going back in November to go and see her for the rugby as well. So hi, Sean, if you're listening and you're watching. Hello to all my family actually. So the wedding breakfast was laid out for people to enjoy before the couple cut their train-themed wedding cake, and speeches were given by friends and family. I really hope that Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne was the first dance. You know, the swing version from the Osbournes. You know, the crazy, but that's how it goes. I really hope that was the first. That was the first dance. So, as a huge train fan, today has been a dream come true. Having Jane and our friends and family celebrate with us as we celebrated our wedding day, as we celebrated our wedding at high speed, said Ms. Dale. Trains are a huge part of my life. The first time Jane and I met in person, we travelled on the West Coast Main Line to a video game convention in Telford, and we often travelled on board with friends to the Birmingham Comic Con. I've been there myself. I will say it's a very good Comic Con. The 29-year-old added that Jane used to travel to Birmingham New Street to see her nan, so this route has a real place in her heart, and today will forever take us to our happy place as we think back to the ceremony. The Avanti West Coast Executive Director of Customer Experience, Natasha Grice, said helping the train fanatics celebrate their special day was, quote, incredibly exciting and heartwarming. She also added, this wedding has been a highlight for our team and will be fondly remembered for years to come. I nailed that right at the end of the song. How cool was that? I think I'm getting into this sort of DJ malarkey. So that is going to be it for this week's Scott and Hutch. I hope that was kind of a nice little thing to end on. So it goes to prove that even in the pandemic, you can, things will get better, and it's nice that they managed to get married. And I mean, that's a story to tell your kids if they decide they're gonna have them, isn't it? So we got married on a train, and you can also just imagine on the because I think they've rented out the whole carriage, so you can just imagine it now. The train approaching at platform 4 does not stop here because it is going to be a wedding service. I mean, can you imagine that? Like, or you're at the platform and you're not allowed to go on that carriage, and you just see all this, like, bunting and the cake and the minister there, and you just think, wow, like, I mean, what must that look like from the outside when you're pulling into the station? That must have been amazing. But as I say, it is time to end, so I'm going to end with one of my favourite songs, and you know what it is straight away. Ladies and gentlemen, stay safe. If you haven't had your vaccine done yet, make sure you get it done. We will be back next week. My name is Tom Hutchinson. I send my love on behalf of Henry Scott as well, who will be back next week. And I am going to leave you with one of my absolute favourite songs of all time. Those of you who have played Guitar Hero or Call of Duty know what it is. This is the Rolling Stones. And from 1969, this is Give Me Shelter. Enjoy.
It's got me It's just a shadow. I tell you, love, sister, it's just a kiss away. 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 Kiss away. Kiss
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us on YouTube and Facebook. Also for listening to us on Revive FM 94.0, of course, in the London area. You can watch us next week. We will be back in the studio. Until then, remember, stay safe, mask up if you need to, make sure that you get your jab, and just follow the guidelines. I know there's not that many of them left now, but we will get through this and we can get back to normal full time as well. Stay safe, everybody. Keep the faith, and we will see you next week on Scott and Hutch. Take care and goodbye.
ये आयशा है। ये बहुत छोटी सी थी जब इसके वालिद का एक हादसे में इंतकाल हो गया। वो अपनी माँ और छोटे बहन भाइयों के साथ रहती है। आयशा जैसी लाखों बच्चियां जिंदगी की बुनियादी सहूलतों से बिल्कुल महरूम हैं। यही वजह है कि वो स्कूल भी नहीं जा सकती। मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन ने आपकी एहतियात और अपनी खिदमत दुनिया भर के यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों के लिए वक्फ कर दी है। एक यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चे का सहारा बनिए। आज ही अतिया कीजिए।
अभी कॉल मिलाएं 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org।